Supercross 4's graphics. Had to come in here and make a little video on this little aspect to the game. Been pretty interesting seeing the comments on this and kind of my own thoughts and opinions on this. So the thing about it is, I think what's like tricking a lot of people up here is this is one heck of a rhythm. You can quad all the way over that. I've seen a lot of people go down the road of saying things like, oh, what the hell's going on with the graphics of Supercross 4? This looks worse than, MXGP 2020, or a lot of people are even saying this looks worse than Supercross 3, 2 games ago. I've seen a lot of people saying that. It's quite the little phenomenon here, so I thought it was worthy of coming in there and making a video and talking about this a little bit. So from my own little discovery and going back to playing Supercross 3 again and looking at that, I've kind of figured out what the deal here is with the whole graphics situation. Whoa! There you go, Spency boy. I've rode like 2 laps on this track, so bear with me here. Some of these rhythms, man, they're no joke. They are no joke on this game. Like, you really got to think about what you're doing. You cannot just come in here halfway lollygagging, no T in the system. Like, you can't do that shit, dog. You got to be big hoss, and that quad right there is pretty tricky from the inside. So, but I think the thing about the graphics of this game is it seems like they have kind of went back to this more basic lighting effect. Like there doesn't really even seem to be a lighting effect on this game at all. And if you remember, if you go back and play Supercross 3, you will start to realize how that entire game has like a full-blown, like toned, like, I don't even know what you call it, like a toned lighting effect. You can definitely tell everything's like, it's like this whole kind of different level of a lighting effect where things look more like, almost like darker, sunsetty, shadowy, kind of that sort of vibe. What if I hit the outside here? I know I hit this quad from the inside. Yeah, that's going to be easier from the inside, just squaring it up there. Sometimes it's easier to go up the inside like that. Sometimes you can carry your momentum better like that. But yeah, so that was kind of the thing with Supercross 3 is, it had more of like a gritty, grungy, darker, shadowy shading, lighting, that whole kind of, it had like an actual vibed lighting effect to it, like like an actual full-blown effect to the lighting of the game. And then you get here to Supercross 3, and it's like they've just totally stripped that out of the game. So it can kind of make this game feel like, what the heck's going on with the lighting, I can definitely see where a lot of people are kind of getting that vibe. Now I'm letting this jump psych me out here. Oh my gosh, there we go. Well, we got the quad in. I need to hit that a little cleaner to be able to jump through the rest of the rhythm there. But yeah, so it's like they've went to more of a, what you would call like, not really a lighting effect at all. I mean, you can basically see there's not a whole lot of shadowing going on. There's not a whole lot of like sunsetty lighting. There's just not a whole lot of lighting to this game. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of what I would say about it. And I think that's what's making it maybe look like it's a little bit worse, quote unquote, worse graphics than like Supercross 3. I did notice the ground texture is definitely more towards the vibe of what MXGP 2020 started to get with that next-gen kind of, dirt fidelity, dirt resolution, if you will. Okay, I'm going to slow down right here and make sure I can hit this. There we go. There we go. Man, that is... Palms getting sweaty here, arm spaghetti, like, Spency boy's a little scared of that jump. Oh my gosh. It's tricky when you're trying to talk. It's like, every time I get to that jump right there, it's like I'm having to, like, slow down my talking to try to focus a little bit. But this track's pretty cool right here, dude. But yeah, you can tell with the ground texture that it's more like the MXGP 2020 ground texture. Almost kind of towards that, like, photorealistic, whatever that next gen kind of shit that they're doing in these milestone games. It definitely has that vibe on some of these tracks in Supercross 4, but some of them do kind of you know, kind of go more towards like the basic kind of resolution, like some older Milestone games. Man, that triple, they got that triple just big enough to where it's a little tricky hitting up the inside. Here we go. Just got to be a little patient with it. I know you can triple over that as well. You got to be wide open though. You got to be on the beans on the 4 fatty. Can't be playing around. But we'll get this rhythm here in a second. This is kind of me learning this track here for the first time, so I apologize. But yeah, you know, in my first impressions video, I was like, what the heck's going on with the graphics? This almost looks worse than MXGP 2020 or some shit, right? You guys probably remember me saying that. I think I've said that in multiple videos. And I think the reasoning behind that is like, you just always expect like this next level of graphics every new Milestone game, right? And let me just tell you, Supercross 4 is not going to like blow you away with the graphics if you've played games like MXGP 2020 or Supercross 3 or whatever. Like, this ain't gonna, you know, just totally blow you away or anything. There we go. Now the Spency boy's getting it. That's the rhythm. There she is. Now the Spency boys T-sipping, T-vibing, clicking, big hossing, New Balance daddy vibing. Now we got it going. There we go. Man, that's satisfying when they make a rhythm like that and you have this next level of leaning forward and backwards to the game. That's a lot of fun, man. That's the kind of experience. You just don't experience that kind of feeling in games like Supercross 1, Supercross 2. You do a little bit in Supercross 3, but not to this level, I don't feel like. This rhythm right here is pretty interesting. Kind of forces you to do a smaller double in. Then you got to have a lot of throttle control over these rhythms because they're just big enough to where you can't really quad them. But they're like, you know, so you got to let off just a little. You can still take the outside there, but I think it's a little more tricky taking the outside, actually. They did a good job of not making that berm too big where you just think, oh, I'm just going to hit the outside every time. You know, it kind of gives you that like multi-line option potential there, which is cool. But yeah, I just had to make a little video on the graphics. I think it's just a lighting thing, man. Like they're kind of going down a different road with the lighting, and it kind of makes the rider and the bike not look quite as... you know, quite as, I don't even know the word for it exactly, but you guys know how the rider and the bike looks on Supercross 3, especially when you get on a daytime time trial track or you're like in the compound during the day and shit. It's just like more of that grimy, grungy, and it gives it kind of a realistic look to it in a sense because of the more shading and the more lighting effect and everything like that, right? Man, that's tricky when you're hitting that, coming out of that corner real quick. That's a jump phase coming out of that corner. That's almost like a Supercross triple jump phase coming out of that corner right there. But either way, so apologize for crashing on that like 10 million times. I'm just trying to get this big rhythm down here. Kind of got the rest of the track going, but yeah, I mean, you know, it's got that kind of more next level-y. So that's kind of the way I would explain it. Like, it's just a different kind of graphics than Supercross 3 or MXGP 2020. Similar, like, dirt texture type vibe of MXGP 2020, but it's just like a whole different kind of lighting. It's a whole different kind of shading. You know, that whole... And by the way, I have my graphics on maximum, obviously. I don't have my graphics like... I don't have my NVIDIA control panel graphics maxed out or anything, so I could get it to look slightly better if I did that, but I don't really like to go in there and jack around with the NVIDIA control panel settings because a lot of times that causes little bugs and lag and issues, and trust me, you don't want to be doing anything to cause any more of that because you'll have enough of that in general, even when you have everything set up setting-wise right? But, so, yeah, but this is just maxed out in-game graphics with NVIDIA control panel settings on default, so it takes the graphical settings you have in the game, right? But this is just standard 1080, 60 FPS. This is not 2K or 4K or anything like that. You could play this game in 2K. I'm pretty sure you can play this game in 4K as well, and it's just going to look a little better, but it's not really going to change a whole lot of the lighting. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, the stuff that I'm talking about in this video is not really things that you're going to be able to... Can I, like, yeah, maybe quicker to jump there and then triple there, so multiple line options towards the end of that rhythm when you do hit the quad in. You can do, like, jump just right over the table and do a triple into the corner, or, like, almost quad over the table and do a double into the corner. Cool little multi-rhythm option there. But yeah, like, you know, all the stuff I'm talking about is the lighting, and that's just not going to change all that much when you go up resolution. That's just going to make the dirt look a little better, might make the rider look slightly better, but it's just a different kind of graphics completely. You know, this is like going for a more basic-y standard lighting. You know, it's not really got like a specific lighting effect to it. Supercross 3 literally looks like you took a game like this and slapped on like a grungy lighting effect, or a, like, I don't even know the right word for it, vibrant, toned, you know, whatever type lighting effect you want to, you know, wordage you want to come up with there. And that's basically what they did with Supercross 3, and it gives it a cool look. I'm not going to lie, Supercross 3 has a cool graphical look to it, but it is a little darker. It is a little grungier. Some people would consider that to look a little more realistic, you know, with more shadows and shading and everything like that. And I can definitely see where you're coming from on that for damn sure. Oh, you can just almost jump all the way into that. But yeah, let's try to triple in here. This is tough titties, because they built this in a way where they really prevented you from doing a 3 in there. It's kind of interesting. A lot of the rhythms they allow you to do the 3 in, but I do like this whole section right here. Gosh, they've created some fear for the Spency boy in that section. That's cool. I like that. I like when there's at least one rhythm on a track that, you know, it really makes you think about it before you come up to it, whether it's a gnarly-ass whoop section. I feel like they could make the whoops bigger in this game, but whether it's a gnarly-ass whoop section, gnarly-ass rhythm section, gnarly-ass, like, main triple out of a corner with a rut, or whatever it is, you know, I love when there's that certain rhythm that, you know, gets your blood pumping a little bit every time you come around the corner up to it, because you just know you got to be right on point with the throttle, you got to be right on point with the momentum, you got to be right on point with the leaning to get the jump properly, right? This rhythm right here is just kind of a blip in the throttle type scenario. Sometimes the berms can get almost like the berms in the corners can almost get so tight that, there we go, bro. That is tricky hitting from the inside too, though. It's just hard to, like, get that straight, carry all that straight drive momentum right there to be able to jump all the way up over it. You could hit the simple jump right there super easy, just doing the triple onto the top of the table. That would be like nothing, but being able to jump all the way over it, you got to huck that daddy. You got to huck that fatty. You know what I'm saying? So, either way, good old Spency boy looking like a beginner out here. It's all good. Yeah, come in here and try to hit that line while you're talking in a video without a script, and you'll see what a challenge is. I'll tell you that for sure. But yeah, that's about all I wanted to say about the graphics. They're definitely different, and you know, when you first get into this game, it's going to be like, wow, are these graphics even actually better? I don't even know. I don't really think so. They're just different, not really necessarily better than anything we've had before, just different, you know? It's just a different kind of lighting. It's like less of an effect, more of a standard lighting situation going on. So it's kind of all in how you want to look at it. Some people are going to prefer the grungy, you know, shading, shadows, tone, sunsetty vibe of Supercross 3. Some people are going to prefer this more clean, clear, standard, you know, natural, if you will, kind of lighting effect that this game has. Oh, damn. Then I go and almost accidentally hit that, not even trying. Yeah, I think we need to hit the inside of that one jump to be able to hit that. But yeah, so that's about your graphics to this game. I would say the ground fidelity is, the dirt fidelity resolution is similar to MXGP 2020. it does kind of seem to me like there's certain MXGP 2020 tracks that might look slightly better than some of these tracks, but oh my gosh, now I'm just tiptoeing in my Jordans. It's just that perfect balance of like going into a corner fast enough but not too fast, because you don't want to like just bang it into the corner and then you're sliding everywhere, and you know you're on the brakes, so then your ass end starts to slide and then you lose all your momentum. It's a nice little balance to this game of like gassing it hard enough into the corner but not too hard if there's like a really tough jump out of the next corner. This game's got a nice little balance to that. It don't just feel like you're wide open everywhere and, you know, not even thinking about what you're doing. There's definitely way more thought process to the leaning forward and backwards in this game, and just the overall jumping in general in this game. There is way more thinking involved to that in this game than there has been in any other Milestone game out there, period. Like, no doubt about it. And there ain't no doubt about it. The Spency boys got the line. Woo! And then you got to make sure you get right over the top of that tabletop, or you can't hit the rest of the rhythm there. So, but I love the size of these rhythm jumps, though. They got it just perfect enough to where it's like just far enough to where it forces you to seat bounce, forces you to carry the momentum, and if you come up short, you're not going to be able to hit the rest of the rhythm, which is perfect. That's exactly how it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be a little bit bigger than real life scaling to fit the gameplay of the game, and a little bit bigger, kind of make you a little scared of the jump, little big to where it's, you know, kind of fearful. I do wish this game had a slightly more of a popping off system, though, because you're not really going to pop off of the bike on coming up short on something. You don't really do that in this game. The only time you're really going to wreck is if you hit a tough block, basically, or you barely like come up short and it flips you over the front of the bike, but you're not going to literally, you know, just pop off and dismount on the bike from landing too hard. It's not going to happen in this game, right? So there is a certain crashing element to the game, but not really a popping off element to the game. You see what I'm saying? It's more of a flipping over the front or the back of the bike more than it is popping off of the bike. You see what I'm saying? So it's an interesting little different way to crash in this game. But either way, I'm getting off topic here. Graphics are just not, you can't really say they're all that much better. They're just different. They're just a different kind of graphical system. You know, more of a natural, less lighting, less effect. So if you just jump to the table, then you could go like table, on, off, and then hit a certain rhythm out of that. But yeah, either way, that is the graphics video to Supercross 4. We'll see if they update any of this. It would be interesting to see that. But yeah, it can kind of give it the look of like the rider and the bike is just like kind of existing in this zero lighting, zero shading environment, and it can kind of make it look a little more fake than a game like Supercross 3, you know what I mean? Damn, they've got a cool little raised area on that jump face that gives you just a little bit more lift off. We got to try to hit that. It's going to be tough, though, because you got to swing the corner up the inside to be able to do it. That is going to be tricky. This jump, man, then those tough blocks on the outside right there screw you every time, because you're trying to naturally, like, hit that main triple on the far left so you can carry as much momentum as humanly possible into that next jump face, but those tough blocks are right there, right? Interesting how they you can tell somebody's come in here and, you know, made this shit, you know, challenging. Like, you can tell somebody has tested this. You can just tell they have, man. Okay, let's see if we can do this. Probably not, but we'll give it a shot. See how you can hit it from the inside, gives you a little more lift off. You're going to have to square that jump up, like, perfectly and, like, slide your ass end around and hit it way up the inside perfectly to be able to hit that. But either way, you're not going to be, like, you know, especially like with the ground texture level, it's not going to be feel like a super step backwards, but the different lighting effect to this game is definitely going to give you somewhat of a feeling of like, what the heck? It's kind of like they took maybe one step forward, half a step backwards or something with the graphics. I don't really know any other way to explain it than that, but yeah, either way, appreciate you guys watching all the videos. Later, dudes.